Have you ever witnessed a moment so shocking, so impossibly unexpected, that an entire room seems to stop breathing at once? That was exactly what happened on live television when Liana Mercer, a 28-year-old journalist known for her poise, precision, and unshakable professionalism, did the unthinkable. She rejected the president's handshake. Not ignored, not hesitated, rejected. Her expression hardened just as the camera zoomed in, and millions of viewers watched the moment unfold in stunned silence. But the real mystery lingered in the air like static. What could make someone like Liana refuse the most powerful man in the country? Only 3 people in the entire studio knew the truth, and not one of them was prepared for how this moment would overturn their lives. The stage lights burned hot overhead. The audience quieted, and President Donald Trump, who had walked out with his usual confidence, froze mid-gesture, his hands suspended in the space between them. Liana stepped back. "No, thank you, Mr. President." A chorus of gasps erupted. The director nearly collapsed in the control room. Security tensed, but Trump didn't respond with anger or even irritation. Instead, something indecipherable flickered in his eyes. Concern? Recognition? Something Liana couldn't read. He slowly lowered his hand. Then, softly enough that only she could hear, he asked, "Liana, who hurt you?" Her breath caught. The audience murmured in confusion. The president shouldn't have known her name personally. He shouldn't have known her story. And he definitely shouldn't have known what had happened the night before. But somehow, he did. Liana's pulse thundered. Only 3 people knew what she'd been through last night: her best friend, her brother, and her boss. None of them had any connection to the White House. "How?" she whispered. Trump's voice remained gentle. "You don't have to be afraid." Afraid? She wasn't afraid. She was furious, exhausted, and standing at the breaking point of a world that kept demanding too much from her. Yet somehow he saw past the mask she wore. "Mr. President," she said, voice steadying, "I'm here to interview you, not discuss my personal life." He nodded without pushing. "Then interview me. But understand this: if someone hurt you, it matters." The producer frantically waved from behind the camera. Stick to the script. Liana forced herself into the role she'd mastered. Though her insides churned, questions were asked. Answers flowed. But Trump kept studying her with an unsettling, human kind of understanding. Halfway through the interview, he said something no one expected. "Liana, sometimes the people who fight hardest are the ones hurting the most." Her heart lurched. Those were her mother's exact words she had whispered years before she passed. No one else knew. "How do you know that?" Liana breathed. Trump didn't look away. "Because your mother used to say it." The studio froze. Even the cameras wavered. "How do you know my mother?" She whispered. He inhaled slowly, as if choosing each word with care. "Because she once helped me when I needed it most." He explained. Years ago, during a private visit to a small clinic, her mother treated him discreetly. She treated him not as a public figure, but simply as a human being. "I never forgot it," he said quietly. "And when I saw you on television, I recognized her strength in you." Tears stung Liana's eyes, but then his next revelation hit her even harder. "And last night, when you didn't show up for rehearsal, I knew something was wrong." Her blood ran cold. Her network wasn't supposed to know she'd missed it. She told them she was running late, never mentioned the threat she'd found under her car. "What exactly do you know?" she whispered. Trump tapped his earpiece. "Secret Service intercepted a threat." "You were targeted, Liana?" Shock rippled through the studio. She had been investigating corruption inside her own media company, an executive who had covered up exploitation for years. She hadn't even aired the story yet. But someone clearly knew she was close. "Why would they monitor me?" She choked out. "Because that executive has been under federal investigation for months," Trump said. "Your report connects to the final piece. Your network knew, but didn't warn you." Liana swayed. "So I was on my own." "You weren't," Trump said softly. "You just didn't know we were watching out for you." She swallowed the rising emotion. "What do I do now?" "You finish what you started," he said. "And you don't let fear silence the truth." The audience erupted in applause. Then he leaned in and murmured, almost inaudibly, And after the show, I'm going to give you something your mother once gave me." Liana froze. When the cameras finally cut, the audience buzzed as they filed out. Liana could barely stand. Everything she thought she knew about her job, her safety. Her mother was shifting beneath her feet. A security officer approached. "Miss Mercer, the president requested to speak with you privately." Her stomach fluttered. In a small lounge behind the studio. Trump sat waiting, holding a small, worn envelope, old, fragile, and unmistakably personal. "I've kept this for years," he said quietly. Liana's breath stopped in her chest. Trump held the weathered envelope gently, as though it were something fragile. "Your mother gave this to me," he said quietly. "She told me, give this to my daughter one day, when she needs it most." Liana's knees nearly buckled. "My mother wrote something for me?" she whispered. He nodded. "She didn't know when you'd need it, only that you would." Liana reached for the envelope with trembling fingers. The paper was soft with age, the familiar curve of her mother's handwriting washing over her like a forgotten lullaby. "Liana, to be opened only when the world feels too heavy." Her breath hitched. Tears blurred her vision. "I didn't know she'd passed until long after," Trump said gently. "I tried to find your family for years, but by the time I tracked you down, you'd moved. When I finally saw you on television, I recognized you instantly, but I didn't want to intrude." Liana clutched the envelope to her chest. "Why give it to me now?" Trump's expression softened. "Because today you chose courage over fear. And your mother believed you'd grow into someone who could change the world as long as you didn't quit." A single tear slipped down her cheek. She sat on the sofa, barely breathing. The envelope trembled in her hands. Trump stayed a respectful distance away. "Take your time," he said. Liana inhaled deeply and opened it. Inside was a single handwritten page, soft strokes, warm curves, every letter imbued with the gentle strength she'd been missing for years. "My dearest Liana, if you are reading this, the world has tested you in a way that feels unbearable. Remember, your strength isn't in avoiding pain, but in rising above it. You were born to uncover truth. Even when truth is dangerous. Do not let fear guide your decisions. Let kindness and courage lead you. And if someone powerful stands beside you one day, let them. You don't have to fight alone. With all my love." Mom. Liana pressed the letter to her heart, tears streaming freely. "Your mother was extraordinary," Trump murmured. "She saved me once. I've been trying to honor her ever since." Liana wiped her face. "I never imagined she'd write something like this." "She believed in you long before the world did," he said. A quiet, heavy silence filled the room, raw, healing, electric. Liana finally drew a steady breath. "I'm going to finish my report. I'm going to expose him, no matter what it takes." Trump nodded firmly. "You won't be alone. Federal investigators will join you, and I'll make sure you're fully protected." For the first time in days, Liana felt safe, not because of power, but because someone genuinely cared. As she folded her mother's letter, treating it as the sacred gift it was, Trump watched her with the solemn respect of someone who understood loss and strength in equal measure. When the moment settled, he cleared his throat. "Liana, there's one more thing." She looked up, startled. "Another message from my mother?" He shook his head. "No, something from me." Her pulse quickened. "Your investigation uncovered a flaw bigger than you realize," he said. "Your network let corruption seep in. If you stay there, they will silence you again." Liana swallowed. "I suspected that. Which is why," Trump continued, "I want to offer you a role on a national truth and transparency task force." Liana blinked. What?" "A team dedicated to exposing corruption in media partnerships, corporate systems, and government communication. We need someone who isn't afraid to challenge power. Even mine." Her mouth parted in disbelief. "You want me to lead something like that?" "I want you to help build it," he said simply. "Your integrity, your voice, your courage, that's what this country needs." Liana looked at her mother's letter again. "Let kindness and courage lead you." Had her mother known? Had she sensed this crossroads would one day come? "I don't know what to say," Liana whispered. "You don't have to decide today," Trump replied. Just know your life is bigger than one network. And there are places where your truth matters. Liana inhaled slowly. Something shifted inside her, steadying, awakening, aligning. For the first time in her career, she felt seen, valued, not as a pawn, but as a force.